Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023, and the result controversially announced on March 1st, 2023. And that controversial result was challenged at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which delivered its verdict on September 6th, 2023. And that verdict returned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as duly elected. And the major petitioners, Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, not satisfied with the outcome, headed to the Supreme Court. And while at the Supreme Court, Atiku Abubakar went to the United States through his lawyers to get evidence to prove his allegation that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted forged Chicago State University certificate, which he submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. But at this stage now, where we are at the stage where the Supreme Court suddenly, after sitting only once on October 23rd, has decided to deliver its judgment 3 days later, October 26th. Thursday, October 26th, after just a sitting. That has raised a lot of questions and is at the center of what we are talking about right now in this video. Especially because an investigative journalist, a prominent investigative journalist, a Nigerian, David Hundeyin, has given his own reason why he thinks the Supreme Court decided to rush to deliver the verdict and bring a closure to the 2023 presidential election. Because the verdict that the Supreme Court will give on Thursday, October 26th, will bring a final closure to the presidential election matter, and the presidential election in particular. Because as I'm talking to you, many Nigerians do not believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election. But they are living with his presidency because he was the one that INEC announced. They are hoping that the Supreme Court will right the wrong they believe was done to them in his emergence as the president of Nigeria. Are their hopes going to be dashed, or are they going to witness a new Nigeria, an unprecedented development where the judiciary will rise above all the allegations leveled against them that made many Nigerians to lose confidence in them, to deliver a judgment that will resonate with Nigerians? It remains to be seen. However, investigative journalist David Hundeyin, who was a prominent actor, though not a politician, he was a prominent actor in this 2023 election season, particularly in respect of the presidency. Now, this investigative journalist has said that it was because of the expected release of the dossier of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States. That was the reason why the Supreme Court brought back its expected delivery of judgment to October 26th. Now, he was saying that as a result of the knowledge that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is about to release dossiers or documents they have in their file on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he alleged that was the reason why the Supreme Court, in an alleged effort not to be influenced by the dossier from FBI, that was the reason why the Supreme Court allegedly is rushing to deliver judgment on October 26th, knowing fully well that the FBI had promised to start releasing documents on Bola Ahmed Tinubu on October 30th. In other words, what he was saying is that by giving their judgment on 26th, it means that nobody can accuse them of overlooking the information that was released by the Federal Bureau of Investigation United States, the State Department, the CIA, the Department of State, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Drug Administration Department. That is what he's saying. And he stated this in his verified X account, where he wrote, and I quote, he said, I guess at the very least, I will get to tell my grandchildren that in 2023, because of my journalistic work, because of some journalistic work. Okay, let's get this straight. He said, I guess at the very least, I will get to tell my grandchildren that in 2023, because of some journalistic work I did as a private citizen, the Nigerian Supreme Court moved up its verdict so as to protect Tinubu with an impending Federal Bureau of Investigation criminal record disclosure. End of quote. So he was saying that at least his conscience is clear. In case his grandchildren ask him, what did you people do when somebody like Tinubu that had this type of record emerged the president and you people tolerated it? That he will tell his grandchildren of the effort he put in. How, because of the work he did as a journalist, the work he did as a journalist made the Supreme Court of Nigeria to bring back the date of their verdict just to save one man, just to save Tinubu. That will be his explanation. And of course, you know that nobody can deny the role that David Hundeyin played in this election. He was instrumental in the disclosure that Atiku benefited strongly, because if not for the research and investigation that David Hundeyin had done earlier on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku wouldn't have had the mindset to go to Chicago. Atiku went to Chicago because David Hundeyin had done a lot of work, investigative work on Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yeah, he has a video on YouTube. Bola Tinubu, from drug lord to presidential candidate, is out there. If you go and watch that work again, you see that most of the things we are talking about now in Nigeria about Tinubu, he had already done all those, about the certificate, about the forfeiture of $460,000 to the United States government. All of those things, David Hundeyin had done a lot of work on them. So it was because of the work he did that Atiku had the courage to go. And not only Atiku, even Enahore Eba, who went to Chicago State University to subpoena the university to release the certificate of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They all tie down to what Hundeyin had done before. So he had done tremendous work in this election season, especially in trying to unmask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu before and even after the election. So nobody can take away from him that fact. You know, his role, if you remember the other time when the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, held a world press conference after the Chicago State University was compelled by the district court, Northern District of Illinois in Chicago, to release Tinubu's academic records to Atiku Abubakar. The day he addressed that world press conference, you remember that one of the persons he paid tribute to was David Hundeyin, who has done tremendous work on Tinubu. And then he paid tribute to Ganifa Omi, who had earlier on in 1998, 1999, and thereabouts, took Tinubu to court over this allegation of certificate forgery. So David Hundeyin has done a lot of work on this matter. So David Hundeyin, in explaining the reason why the Supreme Court rushed to deliver this judgment, he now extricated himself or exonerated himself from blame by already knowing what he can tell his children, because he didn't just sit by idly. He did something, and that it was that his effort as a private citizen, as a journalist, that forced allegedly a whole institution like the Supreme Court to fast forward its date of verdict to save one man. It was because of the work that he did, and he deserves the accolade he gave to himself, because already others are giving it to him. That is that. Now, David is not the only person who has discovered this issue of bringing forward the judgment because of the FBI matter. the American citizen who was also very instrumental in the issue of getting the FBI or the Federal Bureau of Investigation to release document on Bola Ahmed Tinubu is anti-corruption crusader, I call him, Aron Greenspan. Aron Greenspan had earlier raised the alarm that the Supreme Court of Nigeria is in a hurry to continue start proceeding, and that starting of their proceeding is allegedly targeted to neutralize the effect of FBI release of documents of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, and this he did in the application that he wrote to the court in Washington, D.C. on October 20th. Now, if you go through that document, an excerpt from that document, which he filed to compel, he filed that application to compel the FBI to bring back the date that it will release the document on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because FBI had put October 30th. Meanwhile, suddenly the Supreme Court of Nigeria say is going to start sitting on the 23rd of October. Okay? On the 23rd of October. That's when the Supreme Court say it will start sitting. As a result of that information, when it came out on October 20th, Aron Greenspan rushed to the court in Washington, D.C. to compel the FBI, the CIA, and others, particularly the FBI, so that whatever material it has, so that the FBI can start releasing them as the Supreme Court was about to start on the 23rd. Unfortunately for him, that his application failed. Because not only because that he failed, on 23rd, that day that the Supreme Court was sitting, Tinubu had already gone to court in Washington again to file an intervention order to stop FBI and others from releasing the documents. But it is obvious that Tinubu will not succeed in doing that. Because if Tinubu had succeeded in doing that, it's alleged that then the Supreme Court wouldn't have had any reason to rush to give the verdict. They are alleged to have decided to do on 3 days earlier than scheduled. Don't forget that initially some of us were thinking that the Supreme Court would deliver its judgment around November, early November, first week of November or thereabouts. Okay, so let us go through an excerpt from Aron Greenspan so that you know that Aron Greenspan had raised this alarm earlier that they are trying, Nigerian court, he has a feeling that Nigerian court is trying to rush to deliver, to fast forward the proceeding, okay, because of the expected release of dossiers on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You can see that, let us see what he wrote. An excerpt of Greenspan application to the court in the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. He said, the Nigerian Supreme Court now plan to begin hearing arguments The Nigerian Supreme Court now plan to begin hearing arguments regarding the circumstances of Mr. Tinubu's election on Monday, October 23, 2023. The sudden advance in timing appears intended to front-run. That's where he draw attention to the fact that it was a targeted arrangement. That's why he said the sudden advance in timing appears intended to front-run the release of responsive Federal Freedom of Information Act documents from the defendants in this action, and especially the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He said those documents will likely directly be relevant to the foreign proceedings in Nigeria. That is going to be directly relevant to the foreign proceeding in Nigeria. That is the matter that will go on in Nigerian Supreme Court. So you can see that not only David Hundeyin that said this, that came up with this idea of a Supreme Court bringing forward his verdict in order to sidestep whatever will come out of the documents that FBI will release on October 30th. Aron Gbadebo had already done that in the application he filed. And that application, the title of that application is an emergency motion. He call it emergency motion for hearing to compel immediate document production. Emergency motion for hearing to compel immediate document production. That was what he filed in the court, hoping that the court will help to compel Federal Bureau of Investigation to start releasing Tinubu's dossiers earlier than scheduled. Of course, he didn't succeed. Okay, he didn't succeed. Even Tinubu himself that tried to stop him didn't succeed. So we now know that these are the explanation Aron Greenspan and Hundeyin had given. This is the explanation on why the Supreme Court of Nigeria decided to give his verdict earlier than the time that the FBI will start releasing its documents on Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, we all know this is already an old story that the FBI promised to start releasing documents on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 500 pages a month, beginning from the end of October. And the FBI revealed that they have 2,500 pages of documents on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that they will start releasing 500 pages per month. That's how they will start releasing it. And many had expected that these documents will bring more clarity on the identity of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because it was suspected to contain his real name if he had changed the name before, the name he was bearing when he got to the United States, and every other activities that he did that caught the attention of the FBI. So people had hope that it will bring clarity. Of course, whatever may be the outcome of the election petition verdict, or appeal verdict at the Supreme Court on Thursday, if FBI release their documents, documents on the 30th, Nigerians will still devour it. The Nigerians will still like to know what it contains going forward. That is the way it is. But this video is basically to bring to your attention what two men, one an American, one a Nigerian, what their take was on the Supreme Court sitting only once and deciding to deliver his judgment before the 30th of October date that the FBI had planned to release dossiers on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.